and go from there. Okay, perfect. So welcome to Sarah's Fruits and Me workshop. First off, it's Thirsty Thursday. So do you guys all have your water, wine, whiskey, whatever y'all are gonna have to drink tonight? Cheers. I will probably take an intermission when Dave gets home and open another bottle of wine because we're skipping Thirsty Thursday tonight. We just couldn't get our stuff together, and 10 o'clock's too late to do
Fair
it. Or maybe we'll just do it on here. Who knows?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get started. So if you guys have printed out your papers, you can grab those. If not, we're gonna go through this systematically together, so don't worry. And the first meal that we are going to start making is the cheesy ham and potato soup, okay? Okay, so if you didn't see the tip earlier and you have like a big mixing bowl accessible, I would grab that because it's gonna make your life a lot easier when you're pouring stuff into the bags, okay? So for this recipe, if you had time, and Crystal, I think you said you didn't have time to prep all the stuff. Don't worry, because I didn't do it either, all of it. So we're gonna go through and do it together too.
I may or may not. I mean, I have the ground beef cooked. I just have nothing cut.
That's perfect. Okay. So the first bag you're gonna take, if you haven't put your ham in it yet, go ahead and label it on the outside, cheesy potato soup or cheesy ham and potato soup, whatever you need to know.
You want to watch.
Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my frozen hash browns. You guys will also need celery, cheddar cheese, either the block or if you want shredded, either works.
The cheddar, you said?
Yeah.
Did I not have to shred the block?
We will shred it, or if
I shredded it while I was waiting.
perfect. I love it. Then you're gonna be like definitely ahead of a little bit. I'll show you guys some of the stuff. If you don't have a shredder at home, that's okay. I'm gonna show you guys how to do a quick cut up. It's all gonna be melted though. It doesn't need to be like this pretty sprinkled cheese on top, okay? It's all going into a freezer meal here. And then you'll want all-purpose flour. I'm gonna grab mine. That's what I've got to pull out. Okay. Just grab all my tools out. Okay, so what we're gonna do is.
Hey Samantha, I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've done this before. I'm just curious. I'm not going to use the flour since Welch's gluten-free. Have you ever tried it like an almond flour?
Yeah, you can do almond flour, or basically the flour is for thickening. So you can omit it altogether, and then you could probably add some, what is it, the psyllium husk or whatever, or almond flour.
Yeah, I usually just substitute cornstarch or almond flour for everything.
Yep. So I would do cornstarch for this one.
Okay.
Is what I would recommend in terms of the purpose of it is thickening.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, great question. Okay, so you're gonna have your bag with diced ham in it, okay? So if you haven't poured your ham into this first bag, pour your ham into this. Then we're going to measure out our first spices, okay? So the spices you're gonna need for this are the rosemary and herb rub. Just as a mental note, I know this was out of stock when you guys were doing this, but applewood rub is also very delicious in this recipe. So, but rosemary and herb is a fabulous rub for all year round. And your 3 onion rub, okay? Now, I'm gonna give you guys a quick tip here, okay? So, Pampered Chef spices, this cap is, your standard cap is approximately 1 tablespoon. So guess what? Less dishes, you don't have to get out and measure how many tablespoons you need. You do 1 cap of the 3 onion rub. I'm gonna have to grab my other box. And 1 cap of the rosemary and herb rub, or 1 tablespoon, okay? And just dump it in there. if you ever do one of these and you don't have your spices on hand, you're like, okay, I really want to redo these recipes. All you need to do is put on the outside of the bag to add whatever rub you need to add to it, okay? So Katie, all of these rubs are gluten-free too. So,
Awesome, thanks.
okay, and I'm gonna go grab my other box really quick because I'm clearing out my pan. Okay. So next, on the list, again, and I forgot to actually change it. You guys will see on your cooking day instructions, or on the create mixture, it says smoky applewood rub. That's the substitute was the rosemary and herb. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about dicing up some celery.
So sorry, I had to run outside to grab more ham. You said normally you would just put the tablespoon or whatever of the smoky instead of the rosemary.
Yeah, it can do either or, and it's just a different flavor. The smoky applewood, not the smoky barbecue, is what I would recommend. I suppose you probably could do the smoky barbecue, but it would be a little more of like a barbecue sauce type feel. It might not be quite the flavor you're looking for.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing you guys need are 2 stalks of celery. Great onion around here. Maybe. Sorry guys, I'm having to restock myself. Okay, so get 2 stalks of celery. And so there's going to be a couple things here. If you are somebody that owns a food chopper, this is a great opportunity to pull out that food chopper and use it. If you do not, just have a great chopping knife out. I personally love having like Santoku chef knife or a utility knife, okay? You do not have a great knife on hand, it's definitely something you want to look into. So if you're someone that's having to like stab your tomatoes or your potatoes or something before, oh, look at you, color-coded knife over there. Crystal's demonstrating that. So knife skills. I want to show you guys really quick, some quick tips on holding a knife. Okay, so when you're holding a knife, a lot of us have a tendency to put our finger up top here. And honestly, what that ends up doing is you use more of your wrist and your finger to cut. So you actually want to wrap your finger around the hilt of the knife here. Okay, and you want to make sure that that's wrapped around. If it's a really big knife, like a chef knife, you can put your thumb on the other side of it. Okay, so Sarah, you have a chef knife there. Crystal, actually, Sarah, I think yours is a Santoku, bigger one. Yours is a chef knife, Crystal. And so when the blade is flat, guys, you're gonna do it more like a choo-choo train, okay? It's like flat track going along. And so you'll just kind of chop like this. If it's a chef knife like Crystal's, it's gonna be like taking off on an airplane, okay, away from you. If you have a food chopper, I just recommend cutting the celery into manageable pieces. Yeah,
I have.
Sarah's like, I have that. I know you just got that recently.
I know. That's why I was like, what did she say? If you have it, I was like, I have
Food
that.
chopper. Or if you have a manual food processor, that works too. And cut your celery into manageable pieces, and you can chop it up.
I wish you guys could see Murphy's
Okay.
face.
I was gonna say, look at little Murphy Moo. Hey, Murph.
Are you healthy?
How big? Smaller?
I'm sorry.
How big?
I would say small. Well, okay, this is going to be personal preference. If your family's not going to eat soup because they see celery in it, chop it up finely. If your family is okay with coarser pieces, then make it coarser. This is really that personal preference piece.
So funny story. I spent the majority of this time trying to find my celery that I swear I bought. I found it in the freezer. So it has been pre-frozen.
I love it.
I have no idea how to cut frozen celery. If anyone has a thought.
Just cut it with a knife. Just dice it.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. It should be okay.
You just were so excited. You stuck everything in the.
Right. I mean, this is what happens when you go grocery shopping at lunch.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things I love, guys, is if you do not have any sort of flexible cutting mats for meal prepping for things like this, they are really great because you can take them and do this and guide it into the bag really easily rather than with a stiff knife or stiff cutting board. And then, oh, where did I put it? This is like the one thing I used during my freezer meal workshop. I don't have it out. We have something called a food scraper, and I'll see if Dave can hunt it down. Charlie puts the dishes away. Who knows where they go? And you guys can then scrape the food off your, I'm using my ice cream spade instead right now, into your bag. Okay, so celery is in. How's everybody on the celery department?
Mine's in.
Okay, any questions about dicing celery before we move on? No, okay.
I'm gonna use this chopper again, right, Samantha? So I should just put it to the
Yeah,
side.
just keep it out, and we'll be using it for vegetables, for soups and stuff mostly, so that won't be a big deal. Okay, next thing is gonna be your cheddar cheese. If you guys do not have a coarse grater of any sort at home, you guys are going to basically cube it up into small pieces with that knife, okay? If you have a grater at home, this is your opportunity to grate the cheese. And I'm gonna show you one of my favorite tools. So I bought mega blocks of cheese, guys. So most of the time in our house, we do not use prepackaged shredded cheese. And one of the reasons behind that is because we're not like gung ho, like always clean eating, but we try to make healthy swaps where we can. And if you guys have ever paid attention, that packaged shredded cheese, it has kind of that dust on it, right? And that dust is actually cornstarch, and that keeps it from sticking. So, and it keeps it preserved longer, and it doesn't get as much mold on it. So while it helps preserve it better, that cornstarch is extra kind of added sugars and processed. So we try to actually grate up cheese. So I will buy like these big mega block, 16-ounce block, and we will just shred the block all at once and put it in a glass container in the fridge and just pull from it that way. So it's not a ton of extra time, but again, it's one of those ways that we can healthy swap. And you know, if you're short on time, go ahead and buy that shredded cheese. But if you're looking for some ways to do a little more clean eating, that's what I would recommend. I personally love this coarse adjustable grater because it does have a food guard, which I'm not going to use tonight, but it also can be placed over your bowl like this, or you can place it, turn it like this. If you're using this grater, you are going to want to stroke it from behind, guys, okay? Catch my drift. And long strokes from behind. And that will be how you remember to grate your cheese next time when you pull out your grater. So even if you have one of the ones that it's like the tall stand-up one, you can put it down on the on your cutting mat, and you want to go from behind because it just makes it easier to grate and you have less chance of cutting your fingertips.
And you said it needs to be the whole block of cheese?
If you have an 8-ounce one, yes. If you have a 16-ounce, no. If you bought a 16-ounce one, just go ahead and shred it all up and just take half of it. Is that my Coop?
You see Sam?
Hey, Cooper.
Hi.
Hi, babe.
Oh, who wants to say hi?
Hi, Cooper.
Who is
You see
that?
Eleanor?
Say hi, Eleanor.
I'm doing my iPad right now.
Oh,
Good night, everyone.
Yay.
Bye. He sounds like Aunt Minnie when he says bye. It's that bye.
cool. Bye. He's on to better things.
Okay, so I'm gonna finish shredding this up really quick. For those of you who are done shredding your cheese, you can go ahead and put your frozen potatoes in next. If you haven't already.
Does the cheese go in the big bag with the ham and everything?
Yes. So you guys are probably wondering, how do we cook these recipes, right? Anybody wondering like what does cooking day look like? Yeah, yeah, okay. So there's lots of different ways to cook these. On the cooking day instructions, I gave instructions for a cooker, like a crock pot, or for, there's something called a rock crock, if you're familiar with Pampered Chef and you have a rock crock. Sarah, if you have the deep covered baker still, you could probably make a few of these recipes in that. Or if you have an electric pressure cooker, they take far less time in that. So if you do not have an electric pressure cooker yet, I highly recommend one. And Sarah, this is going to be your opportunity to actually see what yours can do.
Yes. So can all of these go in the quick cooker?
Yes. Yep. So you'll have to adjust the time. And I don't have exact times, but I have a good conversion chart that I can send or post. Okay, so potatoes, I gotta do next. And honestly, guys, there's really no science behind the order that goes in most of these. So I have them written out, but not the end of the world if you don't put them in the same order. Again, if you're somebody that's doing more clean eating, I'm going to show you guys a tool in a little bit that actually can dice your potatoes like hash browns, and you can make French fries with it and things like that. It's really versatile. So you could always use fresh potatoes in there and make some of the fresh potatoes. Throw this here.
Okay, I was gonna ask Samantha, so I attempted to get everything at Trader Joe's and they didn't have like the cut potatoes, they only had shredded hash browns. Do you
You're
think
fine.
that that'll work?
Yeah, it'll be
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, what happens with the potatoes is they really kind of cook down to be more like that smooth base of a soup. You might have a few chunks here and there, but it's not going to be like a big chunk potato soup.
Okay, makes sense.
All right, Samantha, how many potatoes? I forget.
How much? What?
That's what, yeah, how much?
Oh, it says 12 to 16 ounces. I just put a 32 ounce bag in here, so I guess I'm making more. I didn't pay attention.
I did too. My bag is pretty full.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna do.
I did 32 ounces. I thought we were supposed to do 32.
You're good.
That's what I read.
Oh, no, you are good. You are right. I was reading the ham. 32 ounce bag. You're good.
Okay, good. I was like,
Full.
Who doesn't like more potatoes anyways?
Another quick tip while you're meal prepping, bring your garbage can by you. Put it like right at your side so you don't have to keep going across the kitchen and everything. Okay, and then if you are adding your flour, go ahead and just throw the flour in there. With it, it's 3 tablespoons of flour, or if you are gluten-free, cornstarch, or if you have a lot of food allergies in your house, you can do the xanthan gum or clown pop, whatever you need, making it up.
Good night.
Good night, Eleanor.
Good night.
Cause I just did an iPad and then we brush teeth and then I go potty and then I go to bed.
Okay.
Awesome job.
we brush your teeth.
Okay, so this last step is to close your bag and knead your contents. Now I'm going to tell you guys right now.
How much flour again? Sorry, I missed
3
that.
tablespoons.
3 tablespoons.
Um,
Too. There was gonna be a lot more flour in mine. I wasn't gonna have.
Okay, so one of the big things is, guys, when you're getting these freezer meals ready to go, you want to get as much air out as you can. And then you're going to kind of shake and knead the contents together. It's okay if it doesn't get all mixed, because it will mix once you start cooking it. And then the biggest thing that you need to decide, and here's what I struggled with the last time I did my freezer meals. I pushed mine as flat as possible last time I made them so I could stack them in my freezer. However, I often don't take my food out to thaw, like I forget to. So when I was trying to fit it in my slow cooker or my pressure cooker or the rock crock, I had to actually like let it thaw a little bit and then like break it in half so it would fit in the pot. So you can then, if you have something like that, I would recommend almost doing it like a folded thing like this. So when you take it out, you can then get the whole thing basically in the pot at once and can start cooking it from frozen easier. Okay, so it might just depend on storage. It might depend on your planning purposes and things like that. And then the last thing you're gonna do is, because when you do thaw these while they are freezer Ziploc bags, I can tell you from experience, with most of the time they end up leaking in some way, shape, or form. So I would recommend double bagging. So while you're double bagging, grab the last two sheets of your packet, or the last few sheets of your packet, which are the cooking day instructions. And you're gonna cut these. You only need to cut one set. You can keep the other set for your fridge. It said print out 2. If you didn't print it out, that's okay. Just label your bag and have this for reference on your fridge for when you cook. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, and I'm gonna put my recipe for this into a sandwich bag. And actually, I'm gonna write the date on it, frozen, okay? So freezing. These meals typically in a regular freezer are good for about 3 months. And then in a deep freezer, 4 to 6 months. So deep freezers are usually 0 degrees constantly. So date frozen today is 5/20/21. And take your little sandwich bag. It can be a sandwich Ziploc, whatever you have. Fold it up so it can fit in here. And usually if you cut right along the, where they are, it fits almost perfectly as a sandwich bag recipe. And so what I typically do is take then my food bag and I add it to another Ziploc. You can label the outer bag too if you're really wanting to, or you can just have it see through, and then you'll add the cooking day instructions with it. And so when you pull it out, you'll know exactly what to do, and then throw it into your freezer next. Okay, any questions? Nope. Okay, so let's move on. We're gonna go a little bit quicker now that we've seen kind of how this process works. So I recommend resetting your workspace, get rid of any food scraps you have. And the next recipe that we're gonna move on to is going to be the Parmesan garlic pizza casserole. I'm grabbing my cookie or my instructions. Okay. So I'm gonna throw this in my freezer really quick. The cheese over. Okay, so I am going to let you guys know really quick, I love glass storage containers, okay? Some of my favorite things in the world. They're great because you can freeze them and things like that. Pampered Chef does make leak-proof glass storage containers. I don't recommend them. Okay, mine has shattered so many times that I go back to Pyrex. So that's just something that I would, if you're looking for new storage containers, Pyrex has been like our go-to. So, okay, cool. So let's grab our next bag. In this bag is where your ground beef should be already if you had it cooked. If you didn't have a chance to cook it already, it's okay. Go ahead and just put on your meal prep or your cooking day instructions, cook the ground beef and you can throw it in, okay? Or you can cook it later tonight and just add it to the bag. Okay, so we're gonna need for this particular recipe, gather your ingredients, your ground beef, your pepperoni, your jar of pasta sauce, your mozzarella cheese, and then Parmesan cheese. Pasta sauce.
So Sam, with that other one, you just throw in the freezer, correct? We're done with it?
What was that?
I said with that other recipe, we just throw it in the freezer, like we're good?
Yep, you're good. That one's done.
Okay.
Is that Murphy Moo?
Yes, sorry, I'm not close enough to my mute button, so if
Oh, she's
I'm,
fine. I didn't realize how chatty she was already.
he's making me poop up to bed.
Okay, so let's get started. So the herbs that you're gonna need are garlic and herb, Italian seasoning, and 3 onions. I kind of forgot to give you guys a little trick. If you want, you can take a moment to do this. I would recommend just pulling the tabs off all your herbs and kind of unscrewing the caps a little bit so you can just grab them for the following recipes. Okay, so you have your ground beef into your bag. So the first thing you're going to measure is your 3 onion rub. You're gonna do 1 cup or 1 tablespoon of 3 onion rub onto the beef. One cup or 1 tablespoon of the garlic and herb rub. And then 1 cup or 1 tablespoon of the Italian seasoning mix. We also have a really, really fabulous everything but pizza mix that is delicious. That would be an awesome substitute for the Italian seasoning mix in this. To give it just a little more of a pizza flavor. And then does anybody have kids or significant others or selves that are really picky about veggies? Yes.
Yeah, my boys
I just
don't
doesn't
eat,
eat vegetables.
my boys will not eat any vegetable. Anything that's green, even if we disguise it, they're like,
Way the same way, Crystal. But so is my husband, so.
it's horrible. Like Eleanor, she'll eat everything, but the boys, they're like, they find the sliced zucchini in the process.
Mhm. I've like cut up broccoli in like a casserole, like so tiny. I'm like, there's no way he'll be able to see this. And he picks it out of his mouth.
With the finger, like,
Yes.
Hey, somebody wants to say hi, guys.
Ella.
Hi, Ella.
Hi, Anna. Okay, so those people that are having trouble with kids or significant others eating vegetables, and Sarah, I know you have some of these in your house, probably still. Pampered Chef does make something called enrichables, and essentially they're just like powdered vegetables. There's a super veggie one, which has mushroom powder, pumpkin powder, parsnip powder, broccoli powder, and cauliflower powder. And then there's a kale and fiber one. Ah, you have some. Look at that. So this is a great recipe to add it to because it's a tomato-based recipe for the kale and fiber one. I will say that the kale and fiber is definitely best hidden in like your taco, your spaghetti, things that have like a stronger flavor to begin with. And then the super veggie one is a little more forgiving. Doesn't have as much of a strong flavor to it. So
I'm gonna try that one because I like the others, and when I was pregnant, I'd make smoothies with those all the time and give it to Coop too, and he had no idea.
yeah. So that's again a great opportunity to add those if you have them, or put it in your mental list of things that adding those powders is a great opportunity to get that extra boost in. Okay, so we have our rubs in. I added my powder in. The next thing we're going to do is pepperoni. So pepperoni, you can either take your knife and you're going to kind of slice it up, or if you have a nice pair of kitchen shears, this is a great opportunity to get your kitchen shears out. And kitchen shears are really great to cut up and snip up some herbs with. If you have the nice metal ones, they're really good for cutting up the, like the fat off of meat. If you have the salad choppers, Sarah, you have salad choppers. This is also a great opportunity to use salad choppers. And you're just gonna take your pepperoni and you're gonna do about a cup of it. If your family likes more pepperoni, add more pepperoni in there. If your family doesn't eat meat or doesn't like pepperoni, substitute sausage. Lots of different ways to do this. And I'm gonna show you guys here. I'm just using my kitchen shears. Sarah, do you have your salad choppers? Awesome. Salad choppers are one of my favorite tools. Mine are currently dirty, so kitchen shears it is. And you'll dump that in next. For those of you who have your pepperoni done, we're going to get our Parmesan cheese next. Did anybody buy fresh block Parmesan? Or everybody just bought your green cap? Okay, you have that. Okay, awesome. Okay, so in case anybody is a Aldi freak like I am, I actually really love buying their big blocks of Asiago cheese and Parmesan cheese. And I have a tip for you. So have you guys ever been to an Italian deli before? Well, how they grate up their Parmesan cheese is literally by putting it in the blender on a pulse setting. Okay, so you could buy a big block of that fresh Parmesan, throw it in the blender, and it's way cheaper than that container, and then put it again in the glass container, or save that craft container, you know, your green cap one, and dump it into there, and then you have it ready to go. So if you're looking for, again, another option to be a little more healthy, I guess, and I don't want to say healthy, because I wouldn't say it's unhealthy, it's just cleaner, it's less processed. So,
Katie, have you done that? Is that why you were shaking your head?
what?
Katie, Katie Weedley, have you blended up cheese like that? Or-
I have not, but they do that at my family deli.
Okay, so you can speak to that too then.
How fine are we cutting this pepperoni?
I would like quarters is fine. If you did it smaller, I mean, you have younger kids, so it might be easier for them to eat. It's gonna be like a casserole type thing. Okay,
How much Parmesan?
2 ounces. So I can't tell you what that is in tablespoons. I did about 3 to 4 tablespoons worth, but maybe a little bit too much, but you know, more cheese is good to me. Okay. And again, I bought my mozzarella cheese in a block. If you don't have a grater at home, do it into your small cubes. It's gonna melt, not a big deal. You only need a block of it, so an 8-ounce block. I'm gonna do my big 16-ounce one and shred it up, ready to go. Hey, buddy. You wanna say something there really quick? No, okay.
One, so I have like a big, I don't know how to grade this, like a big round.
Okay, so you can do that with a coarse grater. Okay, so it's like a bigger grater. If you don't have a coarse grater, then I would just take it and dice it up like in the smaller chunks. But that's some good mozzarella. So
I couldn't find any other blocks.
you couldn't find like the ones by like the cheddar craft blocks?
Walter couldn't find that either, Sarah. I have the big thing of mozzarella.
Mine was the same.
Interesting.
It must just be an Illinois thing.
I
Virginia's-
did a Walmart pickup.
Nice.
Oh.
I'm not, I cheated, guys. I bought shredded cheese.
Probably what I should have done.
And you guys,
That's what I'm using too, because Walter couldn't find the blocks.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Walmart pickup was like the easiest. I was just on my phone and I was like, zoop, doop, put it all in, pick it up.
yeah, mine was Instacart today, so.
Yeah, Jewel didn't have the regular blocks of cheese. They just had like those rounded ones.
Yeah, that's where I was Jewel, so must be.
Oh, did you go to the new one, Sarah?
Yeah, and it let me down. They didn't have good produce. I was very upset. I usually love that Well, that's my jam.
Okay, so for the mozzarella, you guys are gonna put half of it into your bag, into this bag, okay? Half of your mozzarella into this bag. And then you're gonna save half and put it in a either sandwich or quart Ziploc bag, however much space you need, and that'll be for cooking day.
Sam, I totally just dumped the whole bag in. I could take half of it out, or do we just end up adding it at the end?
I did the
You can
same.
just add extra at the end if that's easier. Yeah, it's pretty like chill.
Just gonna be
Everybody knows Frank, he loves extra cheese, so it's fine.
Okay, so when you cook this one, does it go in a crock pot as well?
All of these recipes were designed to be either made in a crock pot, slow cooker, in the microwave, in a rock crock or deep covered baker, or in the pressure cooker, such as your quick cooker, which is Pampered Chef's version, Instant Pot, Foodie Ninja. Y'all have any of
I
those?
have a few of those rock crocks, I think.
The black
So
one?
yeah, so what do you add like with this when you make it? Because I haven't looked that far ahead.
This one, I don't think you need to add anything. You're just gonna literally put it in there and microwave it.
What do you serve it with?
What do I serve it with? Salad.
Okay.
For kids, I mean, it's like pizza night. So it's just in a casserole form. Oh, actually you are gonna add stuff, Crystal. On cooking day, you're gonna add rotini.
Okay. I was like, I feel like there's something missing.
Yeah.
This is all meat and sauce.
I was like, it's just meat, sauce, and cheese. I feel like there needs to be a carb.
Yeah. So on the cooking day instructions, it has the rotini.
Okay.
So again, Katie, you can do gluten-free pasta. I know the chickpea pasta is pretty good, but I recommend
the
making.
Barilla gluten-free pasta is delicious. It's like all we have in the house.
Okay.
I was gonna say, have you tried that Banza chickpea pasta? It's so good.
It is pretty good. I'll buy that if I don't like have the Barilla ones.
The kids love it.
If you use Banza though, don't make it separately. Don't make it in with all of this, because I put it in like my quick cooker or in this, and it disintegrates if you cook it too long. So
And you have to cook it for like half of what the package says. Because
Yeah.
we were cooking it and we were like, oh my gosh, no, it's like done. And it says it still needs like 10 more minutes.
I feel like that's for all gluten-free pastas. I don't cook Walter, like when I make pasta, it takes less time, I think.
Okay.
yeah, okay, so if you guys are done with this one, once again, I mean, I would say, honestly, you guys can put your box of pasta in here if you want. If you don't want to have to remember something, the only thing you'll have to, oh, nope, I lied, you need your pasta sauce next. Pasta sauce. And again, your jar. Is anybody like looking to do less added sugars, like less processed? Am I giving tips to the right people? I don't just want to be giving these if you're not.
I need to find a pasta sauce that's not as like sugary and whatnot.
Ragu Simply. Same price as like it's a little more expensive than your regular ragu, but it's not Rouse. I love Rouse pasta sauce, but it's super expensive. So this has 0 added sugars with it. So you guys that are there, what sauces do you have? And I'm just curious, like what are the added sugars to some of them?
I have the Barilla pasta, and the total sugars is 7 grams. And then it's 2 grams of added sugar.
Okay.
I have the
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I have the marinara, the regano, regano from Aldi's, and there's 0 added sugar.
Ooh, okay, that's a good thing to know, because I'm always looking, it's probably less expensive than the ragu.
Yeah, it was like $1.20 maybe. I don't know. Everything I bought for today was from Aldi's.
How much
I need
total
on this.
sugars?
I bought the Jewel signature brand.
Yep.
Has 1 gram of added sugar.
Okay.
total grams, Sam, was 5.
Oh, so that's even less than this one. I might have to be looking at Aldi then. Nice.
Yeah, this one's a total of 6.
There you go.
Awesome. And then Sarah, what did you have?
The signature, same as Taryn.
Okay. Okay, cool. See, I'm just curious, but again, if you're looking for simple ways to cut out, added sugars are a really great way. Sugar is not bad for you in moderation. It's the added sugars that we add to everything that really they're finding are probably causing a lot of our long-term health issues and our kids to be, I guess, addicted to sugar and have imbalances and things like that. So just some food for thought. Like I said, we still go to Wendy's and McDonald's and stuff like that, but we can switch it up in like home cooking. We do. Okay. So once again,
Sorry, Samantha. So I just cooked my ground beef. So when it cools, I just put it on top.
yeah, you can put it on top or you can throw it in a separate bag, whatever is easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we put the cheese in a separate bag on the side, correct?
What part of the cheese? Yeah. Half the cheese goes in, half the cheese in a different bag.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll do a quick review. The ingredients that go in your main bag are going to be your ground beef, your seasoning, your pepperoni, your marinara sauce, your half of your mozzarella cheese, and your Parmesan cheese. Okay. Then you put the other half in a smaller bag. You're going to close up your big bag, knead it around, and again, decide how you're going to want to store it. If you're someone like me that forgets to pull their food out, and it's probably going to be cooking from frozen a lot of days, do your best to make it kind of like that. You don't want it folded over like where there's food on both sides, but you want it to be like down at the bottom and then fold it. And you'll have to do a little bit of defrosting just to get it out of the bag, but it's not going to be like needing to be a full defrost or like chopping it into just like a meat tenderizer or something. Then put it into your big bag, grab your cooking day instructions, put it into your sandwich bag. Well, put your date on it if you're going to put your dates on. I actually do, as silly as this sounds, I do put my dates on it because I have had times where like I just pile extra stuff in my freezer and then there's a freezer meal at the bottom and I have no clue when the heck I made it. So out.
Did you say hi to yours?
Okay. And for those of you who are finished, again, I say mise en place, clean up your space, get your other things prepped. The next thing that we are going to move on to is the savory beef and vegetable soup. So when you're finished with your pizza one, close it up, throw it in your freezer if you're ready. Sarah, you can keep yours out if you want to just throw your beef in it later. That way it's ready to go. Do I have any questions on the pizza casserole?
Okay, which one's next?
What was that?
Which one are we doing next?
We are doing the savory beef vegetable soup.
Okay. They didn't have the smaller beef. So I've got like the industrial size.
Okay. So if you don't have smaller beef, you can do a couple things. You can cook it the way it is. And when it's cooked, chop it up with kitchen shears, or I highly recommend the salad choppers. Those are like one of my ultimate favorite tools for chopping any sort of meat. Or you can take it as you're putting it in and take a really good set of kitchen shears and cut the beef as you're putting it in. Okay, so this is the one where you're gonna need to probably part everything into 2 bags, guys. Okay, so grab 2 Ziploc bags. This is gonna make quite a bit. And so you're gonna wanna put half your beef in one and half your beef in another. This is one of my favorites though. What was that, Kate?
Sorry, and this beef doesn't need to be cooked, right?
No. doesn't
Okay.
touch. And then after you put your beef in the bag, go wash your hands, obviously. Meal prep safety tip. No cross contamination. Okay. So you're gonna need your beef. You're gonna need your carrot, your celery. You'll need 2 carrots. If you bought baby carrots, guys, again, it's not an exact science. I recommend just doing what your family will eat. If you're trying to do more vegetables and your kids will eat carrots, this is a really great opportunity to put that in. This does have, again, a lot of vegetables in it, so you probably don't need to add extra veggies because it's a high vegetable soup to begin with. Oh, did I freeze? Oh, no.
But
Oh.
we can see your other one.
Okay, there we go.
Now you're good.
Okay. Okay, cool. So you're gonna grab your carrots, your celery, your can of corn, 2 cream of mushroom soup, 2 cans of green beans,
This is literally like your dad's beef stew.
it is. And I'm using frozen green beans, but I have instead of canned. So let's see if I back this up. You guys can see better. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. Okay, so this is gonna be lots of chopping. So get your cutting boards ready to go. Okay, do all of you have your beef ready at minimum?
Beef's in the bag.
Beef's in the bag, awesome. Okay, so we are gonna
Split
now,
between 2 bags, correct?
yeah, beef between 2 bags. Unless you have a 2-gallon Ziploc. But that's not gonna fit in one pot. Okay, so the spices you're going to need for this are going to be the Asian seasoning mix. Garlic and herb rub.
Yeah.
The Italian seasoning mix and the 3 onion rub. This is gonna be where it gets just a tad tricky. You're gonna need to do half a tablespoon of each, so about half a cap into each bag, okay? With the exception of the 3 onion rub where you'll do 1 into each bag. So we'll go through these together. You'll start with your Asian seasoning mix, half a cap into each bag. Or half a tablespoon if you have it, it's half a tablespoon. I will tell you I have a different one. This one's old packaging. Asian seasoning, we've been doing these Asian style sloppy joes and putting the Asian seasoning mix in it, and it is really, really good. You can top it with like coleslaw, or serve it with like a Korean potato salad, and it's delicious.
I think you gave us one of those meals. I think we had that in the freezer and made those like cold Korean sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, so you had that, but yeah, this one's a different recipe than that, but that's a good one too.
Quick question. So since we're putting it in 2 bags, is that like 2 servings or is this still 1 serving?
No, 2 servings. You'll be able to get 2 meals out of it.
Okay, because I had 2.5 pounds of beef. So should I take some out or just leave it?
I
Do
would
it. More,
So Crystal, I would say you had 2.5 and it called for 1.5. Again, it's total personal preference. If you and Matt are gonna eat more, more beef, like your kids are really into eating meat and you like a heartier soup, it's totally fine. If not, you could divide it into 3 and make 3 of these, okay? So it's total personal preference.
Okay, so but then when you say 1 tablespoon, are we doing 1 tablespoon of the seasonings into each bag?
No, half a tablespoon.
Half and half.
So half a cap of the Asian seasoning, half a cap of the garlic and herb rub is next. Or half a tablespoon into each bag.
I feel like my 3 onions almost gone.
Yeah, it'll be close to being gone. Okay, half and half of your Italian, so half a cap of Italian into each bag, or half a tablespoon, again, if you're measuring. Again, I don't recommend, you don't need to measure these seasonings like exact. And then for your 3 onion rub, you will do 1 cap into each bag. One cap or 1 tablespoon in each bag. Okay, are you guys all good with the spices into your meat?
Yep.
I'm good.
Awesome.
Good.
Okay, cool. So the next step that we're going to do is we are going to peel our carrots if you have big ones. And then we're gonna chop them up. So once again, this is a really great opportunity to use your food chopper if you have one. Especially if you have baby carrots, those are good. If you do not have a food chopper, you're gonna dice them to whatever size you prefer. I would say like a coin, or take a coin and halve it, especially if you have the kiddos. Katie and Sarah, and I'm just, and probably Crystal, I don't know how old all your kids are, so I'm just referencing. For like Coop, I would say you could even do it into quarters if you're not using your food chopper. Because it makes it easier when they're eating the soup with their spoons and stuff like that. They'll be soft enough that they won't choke on them, but they'll be smaller bites. It calls for 2 carrots. I'm doing 3 just because I can, and I have 3 boys that actually eat a lot of food. To include,
Me, doing 3 carrots too.
huh?
I'm gonna do 3 carrots too.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you bought the bag of them, you're gonna have extras. Why not? If you're using the food chopper, I recommend cutting into thirds, depending on how long the carrot is. You might need to do 4ths. And again, the size of the carrot when you're chopping it, it's totally going to depend on your family. If you're trying to keep it coarser, bigger chunks, you want to do slow, methodical chops. If you're trying to do finer, then you go fast. If anybody needs a mommy stress relief or a stress relief at the end of the day, this is a great tool for that. Okay, again, half your carrots go into one bag, half of them go into the other. And for those of you who are done with your carrots, you're gonna do the same thing with your celery. Sorry, I was putting that in front of there. Okay, so the celery is, again, it calls for 2 stalks. We're not gonna use this whole head of celery if you bought a head of celery. So if you wanna add a little bit more, I don't ever think it hurts to add just a little bit extra veggies. And my family notices celery, so I chop it fine. Okay. Half of your celery into one bag and half into the other. Crystal, are you doing 3 bags or did you just decide to do 2?
I'm just doing 2.
Okay,
So that way I don't have to think about splitting into 3.
I don't blame you. Okay. The next thing you're gonna get ready are green beans. So if you bought your canned green beans, you're gonna go ahead and do 1 can and 1 can. We actually buy our food through a food delivery service where we buy 6 months at a time and it has like flash frozen vegetables and meats. So I just do my green beans. If you buy like the micro steam green beans or the bagged green beans, you could do half in one bag, half in the other. Again, just total personal preference. If you have the canned green beans, go ahead and drain them. Okay. There are things called can strainers, and I'm actually going to show you a really cool tool that is just like so stupid cheap and so useful that I recommend it for everybody. So I'll grab that out. So I'll show you that with my corn.
Hey, Samantha, sorry, how much celery?
2 stalks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm still on celery too.
Oh, slow down then.
I turned my chopper orange. You see that? The hand part, I turned it orange with the carrots.
Oh, what did you do?
It's, I just had orange on my hand, I guess. And I don't know.
Huh. Just
Bro.
wipe it down.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a really dumb question. How many ounces are in your small cans of green beans? Because fun fact, this was the beginning of COVID, like there's nothing in the store purchase. And so I've had this for like a year and a half, but it's 28 ounces. Is this 2 cans?
That's 2 cans. If it's a 20,
It is? Okay.
That's typically 2 cans.
Okay, perfect. I'll just split it in 2.
Awesome. Okay, so if you guys are have your green beans split, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some stuff you'll be able to catch up. So there's a few tools that I want to show you guys. One is a smooth edge can opener. Does anybody have this yet? I feel like Crystal, you probably do, or your mom does. I feel like I had a conversation about this, but a smooth edge can opener is a really cool tool because if you have pets or kids that try to get into your recycle after you open up a can, you're always worried about the sharp edges, right? Like you have a dog that gets into it or the kids for whatever reason crawl over the recycle. Well, this can opener works a little bit differently in that it doesn't create a cut in the can. So I'm going to show you guys how to use it and show you what it does. So it places on top kind of like your electric can openers, and it'll just kind of lock once you start turning it. Okay, so you would feel it lock and then you turn it all the way around. If it is locked, you should be able to pick it up like this and it shouldn't fall out. If it does, it'll just fall on your toe and you'll say damn and lots of swear words, but it's okay. You'll go ahead and turn it all the way around. You'll feel it, the tension release, and then you turn it back the other direction to release it. And then it has these little claws. Let's see if I can show you guys this way. Little claws, and you put those little claws and then press this button on the edge of the can, and you guys can see probably the glue. So basically all it's doing is releasing the glue from the can, because when the cans are put together, that glue is what sticks them together. So now you don't have a sharp edge on it at all. For your corn, you're going to want to drain it. So you can do that over the sink. They do make something called a can drainer where you just put the thing over the top of the can, but I recommend this. This is called an easy read measuring colander. You can rinse berries, you can rinse your beans, you can drain your corn, and you can use this side to drain like the can of like chicken salad or whatever. And if you have a sink with the divider in the middle, this handle here fits perfectly. So if you're trying to do something one-handed with another, you know, a baby on your hip, or you're on the phone, or you're doing something else, then it can sit there and you can pour with one hand, and you basically use it to drain. So, and I think this is like a $12 tool. So for the amount of uses, it's super versatile, and I know kitchen real estate space can come in a premium. So this is something that I'd recommend for things like canned foods and rinsing beans and vegetables and berries. Okay, where are y'all at? Green beans in?
Doing green beans now. You said half a can of corn in each.
Half a can of corn in each, yep. And then 1 can of green beans.
You know, you're not supposed to heat it with the thing in the middle, right?
What thing?
The blue.
Oh,
They do at daycare, so.
Okay, next thing is gonna be diced tomatoes. So again, I'm just gonna kind of keep moving forward with you guys. For those of you who are done or ready to move on, you'll do half a can of diced tomatoes. And this one, I don't, actually it does say to drain it. You don't have to. It gives it a little more flavor, but you can if you want to. And again, this is a good tool to drain it. For those of you, again, trying to eat less added sugars, I have found that pretty much all of the organic diced tomatoes have 0 added sugars in them. You wouldn't believe what's in added sugars, or what things have added sugars in them. It's really interesting, and I don't really know why, but they do.
Hey, Sam, I just want to let you know, I have canned tomatoes, canned corn, and everything from Aldi's, and so far nothing has added sugar.
I love it. Seriously, well, pre-COVID, I was an Aldi freak, but Instacart is the only place that delivers like Aldi, and I use Shipt a whole lot more than Instacart because I've had way better success out here.
Well, just so you know, Happy Harvest is the brand, and so far nothing has had added sugar. So
clean eating on a budget, guys, right there. I love it.
Instacart will do all. I probably need to start doing that.
I was gonna say, Happy Harvest 0.
Yes, awesome. I love it. I wonder what my corn had. Mine is Food Lion, which is like a cool-ish. And mine had my corn had 3 added sugars in it. So that's really good to know for the Aldi ones. Cool. Okay, so the next thing is gonna be your tomato sauce. This calls for an 8-ounce can. I have a 16-ounce one because I didn't pay attention to my own directions when I ordered. So if you have an 8-ounce can, split it between the 2. If you have a 15-ounce can, split it between the 2. If you have a 28-ounce can, I wouldn't put that much in. It'll overpower your soup.
Do you say half the can of diced tomatoes in each bag?
Yes. again, using the can opener. Okay, guys, I'm gonna show you guys a really great tool. It's called a scoop and spread. Anybody ever have trouble getting like the remaining stuff? Like if you're using tomato paste or tomato sauce or peanut butter, this is like a perfect tool. This side is like your silicone, like the Pampered Chef silicone scraper. So if you have any of those and love them, same side. And then this side is a spreader. So it's also great for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But just a great way to not have waste. Frosting jars or cans.
So is it 8 ounces in each bag or 8 ounces between the two?
8 ounces between the two.
Okay.
I just,
The sauce, you said?
say that again?
Tomato sauce?
Yeah.
8 ounces.
Yeah.
Going to bed.
Good night.
Oh, I thought Sarah said she was going to bed and I was like, wait, what?
I'm taking over.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Good night, Murphy.
You don't.
Okay. Next thing is cream of mushroom soup. You have 2 cans of this going in, so you just need 1 can in each bag. I have not found a clean eating solution for cream of mushroom soup yet, though I haven't looked that hard, so
That one seems a little more challenging.
yeah.
So the
This
signature,
has no added sugar though.
yeah, it has 0 added sugar. It has sodium, but
Yeah, this one has 0 added sugar too. I think it's more that it's just, there's a lot of vegetable oils in it and like wheat flour and cornstarch and like, I mean, basically it's what you use to thicken a soup with. So if you're gonna eat a soup that's like thicker and you're not gonna use a natural thickener, then this is what
It does gross me out that it just comes out in one solid.
Mine does not. This is the Campbell's one. So I'm using my scoop and the spread again.
mine was the same way.
Sarah,
So gross.
I'm watching you.
I know. I had to share the. I feel like I'm getting caught up now. I'm at the soup.
Yeah.
I was struggling there for a second.
Well,
Samantha, the pork thing next or no?
no, I was gonna do the fajitas next unless you guys, I mean, it's not a big deal. We'll
Nope.
probably do the fajitas next.
That's perfect. I'm just checking and putting my pork back in the fridge.
Okay, perfect. And now that I'm thinking about it, I totally forgot to take my chicken out of the freezer. So that will be a cooking day addition for my fajitas.
Is this it for the soup?
I'm sorry?
Is this it for the soup?
Yep, that is it for the soup now. Okay, so again, as much air as you can get out of these, you're gonna want 2 separate Ziploc bags to store these in, probably 2. Knead this one together if you can, because that'll help create the mixture. Give some flavor to that meat. So while everybody is catching up, I want to give you guys just a little rundown on the Pampered Chef spices and rubs that you're using. So Pampered Chef spices and rubs are really great to add that flavor boost without having to cook for forever, but there is a difference. Does anybody know the difference between a seasoning or a mix and a rub?
Is
No.
the rub more concentrated?
Yes. So the rub is going to be like super concentrated and it's going to give that flavor boost in minutes. Okay. So if you forget to marinate your chicken or something and you want to just throw it on right before you're about to cook it, the rub is going to be the way to go. Okay. If you are doing something and you're cooking it over a longer period of time, or you're going to let it sit and marinate, or even just give something a little bit of a sprinkle of a flavor, you would use the seasoning mixes. So like a seasoning mix, like a seasoned salt or an Italian seasoning mix would be a great topper to just kind of like sprinkle on the top of your pizza or on top of your vegetables or French fries when you're done. and doesn't really need to cook in. It's just gonna give some of that seasoned flavor to it. But if you're, again, trying to do a big boost, the 3 onion rub, the garlic and herb rub are great ones to add to your meats and soups to give that flavor blast. Oh, and dips too. You can add them to like sour cream or Greek yogurt and dip them in vegetables.
Do you have recipes for that? Like with these seasonings and doing like a low calorie Greek yogurt dip?
Yeah, so I think at the end of the workshop packet, there's tips for using the rest of your seasonings.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll show you guys also at the end how to go on pamperedchef.com and look up other recipes for the seasonings you have. That way you can try different things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pampered Chef also, I didn't just start, like within the last 6 months, started a subscription service called Taste Buds, and they ship every month. You can sign up for like a 3-month, 6-month, or 1-year subscription, I think. 3 seasonings with 3 recipe cards. The recipe cards have like your grocery list on them and everything. And then they have a recipe card that shows you other ways to use those seasoning packets. So if you're like trying to come up with some meals and you're like, I just need some fresh meal ideas, that's a great subscription to use.
I just got your mother-in-law's last Taste Buds.
Oh,
because
good.
Change your address.
Yes, yes. Okay, so if you guys are done with those, you are going to probably need to cut up both your cooking day instruction things for these, or you guys might be able to fit both of these into one bag. Just remember, only make one when you're cooking it. On cooking day, you are going to add beef broth and red potatoes, or regular potatoes to this if you want. If you bought them, it doesn't hurt to throw them in, okay? So if you have it and just want to get it done with, go ahead and do that too. Okay. This soup is pretty hearty, so it's a pretty good complete meal, but you can serve it with, you know, grilled cheese if your kids are wanting something else, dinner rolls, are some options that I would put with it. Crackers. How's everybody doing?
Good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm putting them in the freezer and I'm like, these do sound good that I kind of wanted to see them next week.
Well, so I would pick whatever ones you want to keep out and, you know, maybe save one for tomorrow. Just have it ready to go. When I do these on the, when I do these on the weekends, I usually honestly leave 1 or 2 out in the fridge.
It's a good idea.
Okay, so if you are done with the soup, we're gonna do a quick commercial break so I can get some water and wine refill. So if you need a beverage refill, clean up your space. And then when you're done with that, go ahead and start grabbing this stuff for your rush hour chicken fajitas. Lost my Sharpie.
Where's my chicken? Crystal, you got my family hooked on mini ice cream cones. So I had to go find them at Jewel yesterday when I was buying all this stuff.
Aren't they great?
Yes.
They're so great, and they're good for me, so I don't eat a big ice cream cone.
I know, because you just don't really need the full ice.
No, I don't need a 300-calorie ice cream cone, but I could do a 120-calorie ice cream cone.
Yes. Samantha, do I need to grate any more cheese? Are we done with that?
Yes, we're good with the cheese. I know I'm sitting here to myself, so Sarah, I don't know if we told you this. We compost now. We started a year ago. And I'm thinking to myself, I probably sound really super crunchy with like clean eating and composting, but Dave is actually the one that does the composting. I don't have the patience for it.
Oh, that's good that you compost. I didn't know you guys started that.
Yeah. We had a
We have a compost in our backyard from our previous owners.
Yeah.
We looked in it.
You
looked in it?
We've never looked in it. It's just back behind the shed. We just have never.
Ooh.
So who knows? There could be a body in there.
Okay, guys. So for my quick intermission, if you didn't know, I love wine. I'm pretty sure all of you do too. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one of my favorite tools is this wine bottle opener. It was actually Pampered Chef's first electric product. So the bottom is the base, and it actually sits in the base and is the foil cutter. If you all can see that. And then it has a USB recharge, and it lights up, and it is, to me, quieter than a lot of the other brands out there, and not as shaky. If you all know what I'm talking about, if you have a different brand, you might know what I'm talking about. So if you're in the market for a new wine bottle opener, we drink lots of wine, and I think I charge mine like once a year. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna buy Samantha because Nick is all about this other one that I just can't use. It's like I cannot open it. So I'm gonna get one.
Sam, are you gonna come to Sarah's wine party?
I mean, real wine party?
Okay, so because Crystal's sister does traveling vineyard, so we're gonna do a tasting at some point in July. I don't think you're gonna be able to come out. I did debate having Danielle come for Hannah's shower and do a wine tasting shower.
Oh,
maybe could we do it like? Yeah, I mean that could be like partial bachelorette, partial shower.
I could. I just
When are you?
but I just don't know if at the shower and stuff we want to be like pushing people to buy wine. I just feel like
yeah.
When are you doing her bachelorette party?
Well, we're not really doing that. We're just trying to figure out how to do everything before August.
We're just doing a shower. Probably no bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Well, could you do like one night? You know, like shower during the day, party at night.
Well, so the shower is the day before Murphy's baptism, so we can't go too crazy that night.
Well, maybe
Let's go to Cooper's Hawk. Let's go to Cooper's Hawk.
I mean, so there's also that, there's that winery in wherever we want. Like there's some nearby we could go. Virginia or anything, but
Genoa, Prairie State Winery, very good food.
Cool.
And good wine.
We can also just get Hannah drunk that night, which she's going to look at this recording eventually, so we can't still.
Well, well, Hannah, if you watch this, just be prepared. Okay. So I'm going to start moving some of my cans over to the sink. Okay. So we are at 9:30. We have 2 meals left. These are pretty quick and easy meals, guys. So I'm going to save the savory pork tenderloin for last because that's the easiest one to throw together on your own. That's kind of why I save it for the end, just in case somebody has to hop off. But rush hour chicken fajitas is one of my.
I just did it while we were talking. It's pretty fast.
Perfect. Super, super fast. Oh, you did the rush hour chicken ones or the pork one?
The pork one.
Awesome. Yep. Okay, cool. So rush hour chicken fajitas. This is one of my easy go-to recipes. Meal planning tips, theme days. Okay, so we do taco or Tex-Mex Tuesday most every single week. Okay, so rush hour chicken fajitas, tacos, just something easy. And this is a recipe that I actually learned by making it in the microwave. I've now transitioned it over to the pressure cooker, but if again, you have a rock crock or a deep covered baker, you can cook chicken in the microwave. It is amazing. It's one of my favorite things to do, to show those things off. But yeah, so let's get started. So you're gonna take your bag with your chicken in it and have that ready to go on the side.
How much chicken?
2 pounds. So it calls for tenders because they're already cut up. If you didn't buy tenders, that's okay. Just get the chicken breast and you can either pre-slice them now, or you can slice it or shred it after you cook it. And again, the salad choppers, this is one of the recipes. I always just put full chicken breast in it and chop them up with the salad choppers at the end. And if you don't
cook it before, right?
No, you don't have to cook the chicken before.
So, sorry, Samantha, if I'm jumping ahead, but I know you made this one for us and we did it in the quick cooker, and the peppers got like super soggy. Would you recommend like putting the peppers in a separate bag and like adding them towards the end?
Yeah, if you are someone that thinks you're gonna use it in a pressure cooker, you can do that. You may have also, did I give you the time on the pressure cooker?
I think you wrote it on there.
Okay, I've learned I can go a little less time on the pressure cooker with chicken, especially if it's defrosted. Even frozen chicken breasts at most need 10 to 12 minutes for like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds.
Okay.
So I probably wrote 12 to 15, knowing me at that point. So yeah, but yes, if you are someone that likes to keep your peppers and stuff crispy, grab a quart-sized bag and you can throw them in a different bag and cook them separately. Okay, so for this one, you're gonna go ahead and put your chicken into the bag, and you're gonna need your chipotle rub. And then this calls for garlic infused canola oil. I did not have you guys purchase that. I don't think, did I? No, okay. Grab olive oil or canola oil. I didn't have you purchase it because it's not my favorite thing. So it's not worth, to me, the money for the flavor.
Side note, if you guys get tenders, have you learned the new trick on how to like get rid of that weird like tail thing that's on the chicken?
No, but can you tell me? Because this is gross.
You know, like that weird white part?
Yes.
So you like hold, I saw this on Instagram. You like hold it. Oh.
I'm spotlighting you so you can.
Oh, I was like, ooh, okay, wait. So you like hold the piece and then dig your fork kind of into the chicken, and you're just like, you pull it out. If that makes sense. Now this one's not working, but I pulled it out for a few of them. See, it kind of shred the chicken off of it.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it always does that. It has like that weird thing, you know? I saw it on Instagram.
I've never bought these before. We only buy like chicken breast.
Right.
So
same.
I was like, oh no, what do we?
Yeah,
what do I
you
do?
kind of just dig in. I know, this is really gross. But then you yank it out.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I purchased a frozen bag of chicken tenders, and so I'm just gonna put the seasoning on it and probably add some more when I cook it.
I regret not doing that. I cheated on everything else except the chicken.
That's okay.
Pull it out.
Okay.
It's kind of like a successful feeling when you get it.
I can't, Crystal, your method's not working for me. I'm sorry. Thanks though.
I guess I've never actually pulled mine out when I cook them. Do you need to?
I don't think you have to. I don't know. I just saw it on Instagram and wanted to try it, but the person doing it was wearing a glove.
Oh, the rubber glove.
Maybe it's not as creepy.
Okay, so you have your chicken tenders and your chipotle rub and tablespoon of canola oil or olive oil or vegetable oil, whatever you have in your house is fine. And so you're gonna put that on your chicken. So it calls for 3 tablespoons of chipotle rub. If you are somebody and your family is not a big spicy family, I would do like 1 to 1.5 caps instead of 3 caps.
Sam, I have a question. The tendon, I'm assuming that's what it is, the tendon. Do you even like taste that, or because you said you don't even take it off?
No.
Oh, you won't notice it once it's cooked,
I
Ashley.
was gonna say probably if it's in the crock pot, you won't taste it. But if you're
Okay.
like just cook it like on a grill, I usually it gets like tough, right?
Okay. Well, I'm giving up now.
Yeah, I would just leave it the way it is. Throw them in the bag.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm moving on. Ugh.
Okay, so you have your chicken in one. And if you have enough Ziploc bags, I'm gonna say go ahead and just grab another one to put your vegetables into, so that way you can decide cooking day how you want to do that. If you want to saute them up, if you want to throw them all in one, throw them in late, we'll do that. Okay, so let me grab my onion.
I'm doing a quick plug. I'm doing 2 bags of the chicken fajitas because I have enough chicken and peppers. And so I'm gonna add more of the chili lime in there too, because I freaking love this stuff. It's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yes, so this recipe is super versatile in that you can use chipotle rub, you can use the chili lime, you can use Tex-Mex, you can use Southwest seasoning. If you know anybody on keto or that is doing keto, our Southwestern seasoning mix is actually keto friendly because it doesn't have maltodextrin in it. Or if you know somebody that has a corn allergy, maltodextrin is often made out of corn. So fun fact, just
That's what my company makes.
I had one person do this freezer meal workshop in March, and she didn't realize that the maltodextrin was made, like it's not always made from corn, but it a lot of the times is, and she's allergic to corn, so she had to basically donate all her freezer meals to her neighbors. So we had to go through and figure out, okay, which ones don't have any corn byproducts in them.
That sucks.
Yeah. So for an onion, I'm going to start showing you guys how to do this. It calls for 2 medium onions. So we have a cool thing that's called a citrus peeler, which is also an onion peeler now. You guys peeling the skin off onion, I've had a citrus peeler forever and never thought to use it. So basically it's this little tool, and I usually peel oranges with it, but you can take the skin off super easily then with it. So I have a really large onion. Again, if your family's not a big onion fan, you don't have to put 2 onions in. If you love onions, go ahead and add more. Those are some tools you can use. If you have no, I'm going to show you some fun tools now, guys. This is like the fun tool section. Does anybody have a simple slicer that has?
Can I use this?
Yes. Yep. Okay, so Sarah has the simple slicer. I have the simple slicer that's new on steroids called a quick prep mandolin. And it is not a mandolin like they used to be. And I'll tell you why, but Sarah's is a simple slicer, which is awesome for onion and peppers and things like that to basically slice them with. You can do citrus with them. But I'm going to show you guys this new quick prep food mandolin. So if you guys have ever seen a mandolin in the past, it's like Sarah's simple slicer where your hand is going over the blade. Okay, so the food is going over the blade. This one is new. I'm actually going to cut mine in half, and it has this food feeder, and the blade goes over the food. Okay, hold it back so y'all can see it. Has different settings on the back that I'll show you. So basically my onion, you guys can't see it on my big, there we go. are sliced up, I can make them thinner or thicker if I want to. I can change the setting to like basically dice them. So I'll show you guys that in just a moment. I'm gonna throw these in my bag. This is that tool that I make French fries out of, like good French fries, like Five Guys type or Boardwalk French fries, sweet potato fries. And so I'll show you another setting that's more of a dicing setting. And they're literally just knobs on the back that allow you to dice them stuff up. Okay, so let's make them more steamy now. Okay, you guys can see
Anybody else?
your dice. So again,
Crystal, I thought if you put ice cubes, then you won't cry by your onions.
Oh.
I've tried all the wives' tales that they talk about. Nothing works.
I wear contacts and I don't cry with when I dice onions.
Crystal, I was teaching for work. I've been teaching a virtual cooking class.
Uh-huh.
And one of my participants came with swim goggles on when we were doing onions. I just could see her on Zoom. I was like, Brenda, are you wearing swim goggles? And she's like, it was like the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, that's funny. That actually would be a great idea to like safety chemical, like chemistry goggles.
It worked. She
Yeah.
said what her dad does. I was like, okay. It was just really cute.
So are you guys putting this in a second bag? Is that what I heard?
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah, if you put them in a second bag, then you can saute them or add them later. If you're doing like a slow cooker or a pressure cooker, you can kind of add them almost at the end because if you cook them in a pressure cooker, they do get pretty mushy if you don't
Okay.
get timing.
I was probably gonna cook them in a crock pot. Do you think they get mushy then?
Yeah, I would add them at the end or towards the end, like the last maybe hour. I don't even know if I do an hour. I'd say maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
I believe my cooking day instructions also have when to add those. Okay. Okay, so another food prep tip, bell peppers. How many of you guys cook with bell peppers a lot?
All the time.
Okay,
I do.
so my question to you is, when you are going to slice up a bell pepper, what is the first thing you do when you slice it? The first slice you do?
I'm sure this isn't right, but I always cut the stem off.
Stem off, okay,
Slice all the sides and make like a square.
okay. Anybody else?
It's different every time.
Or like a pumpkin.
Carve it like a pumpkin, okay. Awesome. So as you can see, there is no wrong way to cut a bell pepper. There's all different ways. I'm gonna show you a way that I cut it. It makes it super simple as long as I'm not making stuffed bell peppers, okay guys? So I'm gonna take it and I'm actually gonna cut the bottom off first. The reason I do that is if you are somebody that's cutting the top or the sides off first, you guys probably are getting seeds caught in there. You have to scoop them out. Well, I can see the seeds now. Put it here. And so as I'm cutting along that edge, I can either break the stem off or cut it off. I can carve around it and have less waste. I can cut the veins out if you're somebody that's like, I don't like the white part in the inside. And then you don't have to worry about scooping the seeds out either. You're ready to go. So that's one tool for that. Now I'm going to show you guys another one of my favorite tools, especially for quick produce meal prep if you're doing veggie trays or snacking. This is called a quick slice. It is a tool that has a bunch of serrated blades here that are all equal distances apart, and it has the guide here. So once I cut my bell pepper, I'm going to put it in my quick slice and rock the blade. And then I have these perfect sliced pieces of pepper for a veggie tray, for fajitas, for whatever you want, ready to go. I can also use it for zucchini, that big mozzarella block like Sarah and Katie had, if you're gonna make some caprese salad. So you can do your pieces of your mozzarella, grapes for the kids, or if you're putting grapes in chicken salad, cucumbers, tomatoes, mushrooms, hard-boiled eggs. So it's a super, super versatile tool that for me makes the process of slicing produce and getting kind of those snack produce together a lot quicker, and I'm more apt to actually prep my food then. So you'll do your peppers, you have green, and it calls for red. You can use orange, you can use yellow. If you don't like green peppers, you can do whatever variation you want. And then once again,
Sam, since we're putting the veggies in a different bag, do we have to add anything to it, or is it fine? Just
no, you'll just leave it like that.
all right. Who's doing my cleanup?
Say that again?
I said, who's doing my cleanup?
Oh, I know. Husband. Dave actually usually does the dishes. I'm kind of spoiled here. I try to clean up after myself after these though. Okay. How are y'all doing on the pepper cut up?
Done.
Awesome. You guys are gonna get your garlic next. Okay. So garlic, another fun food tip here. Do I have people who cook with fresh garlic?
When I have it.
Okay. How many of you have jarred garlic sitting in the fridge? There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. Okay, cool. So before I started Pampered Chef, jarred garlic was like my go-to until I figured out how easy it is to mince fresh garlic. Okay. So if you have fresh garlic, I'm going to show you how to do that. And then I'm going to show you guys a tool. If you have a garlic press, you'll want to pull that out. Okay, so if you have garlic, little tip for buying garlic. If you're buying a bulb, you want it to have a hairy bottom and be like men's underwear whitey tighties, okay? If it has a hairy bottom, that actually means it's from the United States, grown here. If it doesn't, they cut it off because that means it came from a different country because they don't want the roots to be shipped. It's against produce shipping laws, ship the roots, I think. So this is a bulb of garlic, or sorry, this is a head or a bulb of garlic. One of these things is a clove of garlic. So if you're somebody that doesn't cook with garlic, seriously, I had somebody at a party think that this was a clove and they used like the entire head of garlic. Yeah. So when you're gonna mince garlic, some easy ways to do it, but you don't have to peel it with your fingers. You can take a flat blade, a big chef's knife, and take it and push it down to crack it. And then it peels off really nicely. And then you can slice it up really fine to mince it. Okay, so that's one of the ways you can do it. And I'll show you that one. I really actually hate this part. So I'm gonna show you guys my favorite tool next, because this to me is very tedious. Unless you're a chef and really, really, really enjoy mincing up garlic. And then I have to scrape it and it's all over my fingers.
Sam, which bag are we putting the garlic in?
The same as the vegetables.
All right.
Yep. Great question. Okay. Next tool. Okay, guys, I have a garlic press. It is amazing. I do not need to peel my garlic. Okay, I'm going to put my garlic in with the peel on it. I'm going to put it in the press. I'm gonna push it. Get you guys close. Let's see if we can see here. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna push with my garlic press. And I think you all can see it's minced into really small pieces. There we go. And the peel is still in the press and it pops right out. So it's done quick.
So I don't have a Pampered Chef one, but I have a garlic press. Do I not need to peel it then?
Is it a yellow one?
No.
Let me see it closer. Like let me see the, you can try it. You probably do based on what I'm seeing, because the Pampered Chef one has like a crusher. It looks like yours has like spikes on the part that presses.
Oh yeah.
So probably.
I peeled this anyways, but that would save me a lot of time if I didn't have to peel garlic.
Yeah. Yep. So that way you guys can cook with fresh garlic on the daily. Super cheap. It's like 40 cents, 50 cents for a bulb of it, and it lasts a good long time. So you want 2 garlic cloves in yours. Okay, you guys can add another like tablespoon of olive oil or vegetable oil to this if you want. And basically you're gonna close it on up. And put it in, you're gonna put your chicken and your vegetables then in the next Ziploc bag with your cooking instructions. Okay, any questions about the rush hour chicken fajitas? For cooking day, I sent you guys a fridge chart for, again, some suggested sides and some notes on cooking day, but you can get tortillas to put this on. You can put it over chips. You can serve it with like Spanish rice or Mexican rice or refried beans or black beans. It's kind of that easy thing, or you can eat as is because it does have that kind of complete food group. Okay. How are you guys feeling? We're almost done. Crystal's done actually, aren't you?
I'm gonna love this later. I'm gonna love having these.
Yeah, right? And I'm prepping without kids hanging on me, so it's kind of nice.
Yes.
That's true too. My big thing, which I try to invite all my neighbors to do this, like a lot of times in the summer, everyone will be out in the neighborhood playing, and then it hits like 6:30 and everyone's like, shoot, I don't know what I'm having for dinner. And that's how we feel. So now I'll have stuff.
Yeah. Well, and if you guys are comfortable with like having people like at your houses now, that soup one or the potato, like the soup, the vegetable soup or potato soup is a really great one that you can just like pull out and say, hey, we're gonna have some soup tonight. You want to come on over? We have, you know, plenty. Or, you know, if you're trying to do something quick and you guys have chicken and peppers in your house, say, we're gonna do a taco or a fajita night really quick. We're gonna throw this in our, you know, pressure cooker or rock crock. And that way people can kind of see the value. Because I feel like you don't understand the value of something like this until you go through the process. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know what it will do for your household and things like that. Okay, so mise en place, clean up your space and get ready for our very last recipe. And this is our savory pork tenderloin. So you're gonna need your 2.5 pounds of pork tenderloin or 6 boneless pork chops.
Sam, I'm sorry, I'm a little behind. How much garlic? I'm using like a jar.
Oh, okay, so your jar should have the instructions for cloves. It should be equivalent to 2 cloves of garlic.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's a teaspoon.
It's a half of a teaspoon equals 1 clove.
Okay.
Oops.
Sorry.
I think I definitely did more, but that's okay.
I think
Who
you'll be
doesn't
fine.
love garlic?
Garlic.
Yeah, I feel like the rule is you measure garlic with love. Like it's just how much do you want?
Yeah.
I like
My rule
I
at
did
least.
2 tablespoons.
Who said they?
Oh, sorry. Do I put the garlic with the vegetables or the meat? I'm totally
The
behind.
vegetables.
Okay. Whoa.
You're good. Okay.
I had people put my kids to bed and I'm still behind. I don't know what's going on.
You are fine.
Ooh, these onions, they're still getting my eyes.
Making brownies now because I told Jake I was gonna make brownies in the new oven and I didn't make them yet and he came home. So
Whoop. Awesome. Okay. So the last one, I again forgot to pull out my meat for. You're gonna definitely want your meat out for this. Okay. So I'm gonna walk you guys through the recipe for it, but this is our last one and you guys are definitely able to probably make it without me having to show you. So this is our savory pork tenderloin. So you're either gonna have your pork tenderloin itself, or you can do your 6 boneless pork chops, 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, your Asian seasoning mix, your garlic and herb rub, and your 3 onion rub. This might actually finish up your 3 onion rub. You might have, you probably have 1 more tablespoon.
It did. Mine finished.
Okay. So, perfect amount of that. Sorry, you won't have any extra of that to make anything with, but, so this is the super simple one. Throw your pork tenderloin in or your pork chops in, put 1 cap of Asian seasoning mix, 1 cap of garlic and herb rub, and 1 cap of 3 onion rub. And then all you do is put your can of cream and mushroom soup in there. And you knead it on up. And that's all. So this one you'll definitely want to serve with something on the side. I think we recommended egg noodles or rice. I actually put a bag of frozen green beans in my pressure cooker when I cooked this last time. And I feel like it was like that green bean casserole, like pork tenderloin mix. It was delicious.
So you said 3 onion, the garlic and Asian?
Yeah.
So when you cook this, like, does it turn into like a shredded pork?
So it depends on how you cook it.
Okay.
If you're cooking it in the deep covered baker or the rock crock, it'll probably be more like your traditional like pork
Slice.
tenderloin. Yeah, slice it.
Okay.
When we made it in the rock crock last time, I did it from frozen, and I think I put it in for 20 minutes, 25. I think I did it 20 minutes for the cook time, and then I let it naturally release. Do you have a pressure cooker, Crystal?
I don't.
Okay. So those of you who have a pressure cooker, and it was that really, really, really tender pork tenderloin. It was like, you could see the shreds to it when you cut it up. It was delicious.
Ugh, so gross.
This is one that, again, if you're trying to sneak some veggies in, the super veggie would be perfect for this, because it's not going to turn it green, and it's not it has a little less of a flavor part to it. Yeah, so that would be another recommendation for those enrichables if you're trying to add some of those things to your.
Those super veggie ones to my order, Samantha. So I want to try it.
I have a question about the meat.
Yeah.
Do you cut it at all? I have a giant tenderloin. So do I put it all in one whole piece, or are people cutting it up?
Can you show me the piece that you have?
I think it'll fit fine. I was just curious because it's such an awkward shape.
I did one piece.
You did one piece? Okay.
Yeah, you should be
We'll see
okay
what-
with one piece with that. I was gonna say, if you got like a big, like I'm doing another workshop on Sunday and this called for like a big tenderloin. And those ones I cut in half. And like, and do that, but if it's the longer piece, you should be fine.
Okay. I usually make Frank do all this because I get grossed out by the blood.
I don't blame you.
I usually put mine in a big bowl when I'm cutting it open, and that way all the juice like falls to the bottom. If you have another bowl. Helps.
That was a breezy one.
Awesome. Cool. So as you guys are finishing up, what meal are you guys most excited to make?
All of them?
Do I love beef too?
I think the pizza one. That'll be
Pizza
fun.
cat.
I think I'm with, yeah, totally pizza. That sounds really good.
I'm excited to try the pork because it's just different. Like we usually just grill it. So
Yeah.
I've never made it like in a crock pot or rack crack and especially with the mushroom. So
Yeah. Awesome. Ashley, do you have one that you're excited to make?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Pizza probably sounds the most exciting for us. I think the kids are going to enjoy that one the most.
Awesome.
I think fajitas. We eat a lot of Mexican food in this house, so.
Okay, cool.
We eat fajitas like on the regular, so that's going to be just our like safe one, I think. That's why the pizza one.
Mexican and minute.
Even though Frank and I are on a diet, so I don't know if that's going to be the best choice, but I'm making
Well,
it.
I think the worst part about the pizza one, well, so for the pizza one, I'm trying to think. So my friend who's doing less carbs, I don't know if that's what you mean by diet, if you're doing lower carb. She did hers over like cauliflower rice, or spaghetti squash.
Ooh, spaghetti squash, pretty good.
Because you guys are doing Weight Watchers too, right?
Yeah.
And because I always buy like the whole wheat noodles and stuff, but I feel like they're the same points as doing regular noodles.
Yeah, I was gonna look
they
up
are.
next
That's why
time-
I just go for that.
I was gonna look up Aldi's when I made that pasta salad over the weekend. Well, and I've made Walter's. I bought like the gluten-free and I tried the noodles and it was delicious. So I was gonna see how many points those were because I think it was a brown quinoa rice noodle.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I gotta
Oh, go
Low-
ahead, Sarah.
I don't know what lower point noodle there would be, but I don't know. I bought like the turkey pepperoni, so that's a little bit lower.
Yeah. Sarah, have you seen keto bread? It's like no points. Maybe
Really?
one.
I
Yeah,
bought
here, let me find-
life stuff. It's 1 point per slice.
Frank took
Here I am
all those-
eating brownie batter, you guys.
So, I am starting just like a fun wellness challenge in my kitchen. It's called My Fresh Kitchen. It's my like just VIP group of people that share recipes and stuff. But like one of the biggest things that I've learned is that I did a wellness challenge right before I got pregnant with Ethan. And it was like the added sugars, if you can really pay attention to those added sugars, it really cuts down on just points and just your carbs in general, the bad carbs. And then if you can do half a plate of veggies at like 2 meals, that like really gets you to focus on getting that vegetable intake. And vegetables are very little points for Weight Watchers, as well as they're just a really good option that once you start eating that half a plate of veggies, it's a lot less tempting to go back for that second serving of carbs or to do like a half a plate of carbs instead. So like,
I've been doing, because I know they say like carbs at dinner aren't necessarily as good either, because like you need carbs to like function throughout the day. And like don't eat a ton of carbs at night because you're just gonna go sit on the couch.
Right.
You know, I've been trying to do like no carbs at night. And that's actually been helping. Like I feel better.
Yes. And we do that. I mean, not all the time. We do that too though.
It's not sustainable to do it all the time.
Especially with kids. But yeah, it's usually for us like a big like portion of meat if you're not vegetarian or vegan or whatever, a big portion of meat, and then the vegetables. We do the micro steam ones, and like the kids love them, like green beans, the mixed carrots, we like them. Big half a plate of salad, like it's super easy to do for that dinner part. Now lunch and breakfast, it's a little harder. I guess if you do salads for lunch, it's not that hard, but for family.
Yeah, another good no carb dinner option that I love that's super easy is just like sheet pan meals, right? Where you do like chicken on one side and then a bunch of chopped up veggies.
Yeah.
You do like sweet potatoes or like things that are like starchier.
Yeah.
They're super easy and go to.
Love it.
Yeah.
We just did, I'm not a big fan of Brussels sprouts, and so we made them last night. And it's not like super healthy, but I chopped up like 3 pieces of regular bacon and like cooked that, and then threw all the Brussels sprouts in that, but then put it all in the oven so it got crispy.
Yeah.
It was very good. I was like, ooh, and then Matt and I both ate like half a bag of Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
But they were good. So
Crystal, try adding a little bit of like balsamic vinegar and sea salt next time you do it.
Okay, I read that.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, I might try that next time.
Yeah.
Crystal, the Aldi sells center cut bacon, and I learned on Weight Watchers that center cut bacon is healthier for you.
Okay, that's what I bought because it was on sale.
Oh yeah, so Aldi's has it for like, I think it was $4.35 or something like that. And so we buy that and eat that. Like if I really want a piece of bacon in the morning, because eggs are 0 points on Weight Watchers.
Yep.
So we do a ton of peppers and eggs, and then I'll have 1 or 2 pieces of the center cut bacon in the morning for breakfast.
My favorite is the Oscar Mayer turkey bacon. It's the best, I feel like, turkey bacon out of all of them. Yeah, I got my Weight Watcher meals down pat.
Yeah, I can
every day.
I cannot do turkey bacon. I don't know what it is, but I can't. I've tried and it's just nope, not gonna happen.
Yeah. So, okay, cool guys. So I'm gonna finish up with just a few like resources and things. If you guys enjoyed doing this and you're like, okay, this is gonna make my life a lot easier, there's a book called Cook Once, Eat All Week, and I'll show you it. One of my go-tos off Amazon. It's like $30, but it's been so worth it. It'll give you your grocery list, and basically you use the same protein and vegetables for all the meals during the week, but you prep them and use different seasonings for them. But it also has things like gluten-free, dairy-free options and how to make it like in an Instapot and slow cooker. So this is really cool because you can cook all your chicken on Sunday or Monday and then refrigerate it for the week, and then you literally just like pull stuff out and reheat it or like put it on the stove top quickly to go. So this is one of my favorites. Then obviously these freezer meal workshops are a lot of fun. I'm doing them monthly now. So like I have a big group of people that do them monthly. So if it's something that you're like, okay, I really liked this and you want in on the next one, all it is the spices. So it does the same thing that we had this time around. So, and
Yeah.
there's different menus. So it doesn't get to be monotonous. And then, yeah, so the tools, if there's anything you guys liked that you're like, okay, I want to learn more about it, please let me know. If you're like, I definitely want to get that tool for my meal prepping segment, I did send out a friends and family discount link. And essentially once that link gets to $100 in orders, it starts at a 2.5% discount and then goes up from there. So if you guys want, you can use that, send it to your friends and family if there's anything they want, because that will help everybody. So feel free to use that and share that, and it will be good through next week. And then best way, I know Crystal, I believe you've done this before, and Sarah's done this before, is if there's like big things you want, you're like, oh, I want to try a rock crock, or I want to try a quick cooker. Don't buy them full price. You can, I mean, that's cool, but I would recommend hosting some sort of workshop for yourself, whether it's a freezer meal workshop, a Zoom workshop. I'm doing basically like cast iron cooking, wine, cheese, and chocolate, and then people there. I don't call them parties anymore because it is kind of a party, but we're really having fun and learning. So I don't want people to feel like they have to purchase something. I really want something of value. So if that's something that you want to do and you know that your friends could use some cooking ideas or your family could, then hosting a workshop is another really, really great way to get some super discounted items. So that's about it. So any questions about meals, meal prep, the workshops?
This was awesome. I'm excited to join one.
Yeah, thanks, Samantha. This is great.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I love
I'm
it.
pretty sure Matt is very excited. He's usually the cooker, so yeah.
Yeah.
He's got meals now.